What's up everybody, this is Master Ian Gamer, and today I'm going to share some tips and advice for how to get more Overwatch loot boxes so you can get as many amazing legendary skins as possible without having to pay a penny of real money. While some of these tips may seem obvious to you, there are a lot of new players out there who might not have figured out every trick yet. So hopefully, regardless of whether you just bought the game or are a Grandmaster veteran, at least a few of these tips will teach you something new. In this video, I'll be covering all the best ways to get more XP to grind boxes through leveling up, as well as the best ways to win loot boxes directly. And finally, I even have some advice for getting event-specific loot boxes so you can up your chances of getting those limited time legendaries. Real quick though, if this is your first time on my channel, then don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss any future Overwatch news or updates. And with that, let's start getting more loot. First and foremost, an important thing to note is that with only a few rare exceptions, the sole way to get skins, or any items for that matter, is through opening loot boxes. Either by unboxing the item directly or purchasing it with accumulated credits, you're going to want to open as many as possible, and the most common way of getting loot boxes is simply by leveling up. For every level, you get a box. So to start, let's look at some techniques for grinding XP so you can level up as fast as possible. In Overwatch, XP is awarded at the end of a match, so be sure you don't rage quit early, and the amount you get is dependent upon a number of different factors. You will always get XP for simply finishing a match, and the longer the match, the more you get. On top of that, however, you also get bonus XP for winning the match, earning a medal, playing 2 or more consecutive matches, backfilling, getting your first win of the day, and playing in a group. For medals, you get more XP for higher level medals. However, medal XP does not stack and will always award you the payout of your highest level medal, meaning that as long as you finish with a single gold medal, you're good to go. Consecutive match XP is awarded by playing 2 or more matches in a row without requeuing in between. So even if it feels like waiting through the play of the game and end screen is a waste of time, you'll actually get more XP for doing so. Also, a little trick I like to use is whenever you lose to a really tough enemy team and you definitely don't want to face them again, you oftentimes can get away with not having to unqueue. If the majority of your teammates leave the match after it ends, which in my experience they often do, then the match will automatically re-instance and put you against a new enemy team. But since you never left the match queue, you'll keep the consecutive match bonus and continue to get more XP without having to keep playing those same old opponents. Moving on to backfill XP, this is awarded only if you join a match that is already in progress. Given that there's really no way to control whether or not this happens, it's best to consider it a rare bonus and not something you can necessarily strive for. First win of the day XP can, obviously, only be gotten once a day for winning a match. However, the XP bonus received for this is massive and should not be underestimated. Therefore, it's a good idea to play for at least a little bit every day if you're trying to level up, since this once a day bonus can make things go much faster. Moving on now to the last method for getting more XP, playing in a group is by far the best way of leveling up. Even if you're grouped up with only one other person, you'll get a 20% XP boost at the end of every match, regardless of the game mode. Now, I know what many of you are thinking. I don't have any friends or people to play with, so I can't play in a group. Don't worry, I know exactly what it's like being in that position, and therefore I want to introduce you all to a tool which I believe is terribly underused by Overwatch players, and that is the Stay as Team button. Even if you don't want to have to talk to other people, then you can just leave the group voice chat. Simply clicking this button is so often the ticket to more XP and therefore more loot boxes that it's really a shame that more people don't use it. There is still one more tip, however, when it comes to leveling up quickly, and that's to play quick play. Even though competitive mode gives you a flat 15% XP bonus, playing quick play will overall still award you the most XP for the time you spend playing it. The reason being is, as the name suggests, that these matches are quick. While a single competitive match might award you more than a single quick play match, that's only because the match itself is much longer, and thus gives more XP based on playtime. However, in the same time it takes to play a single competitive match, you can usually fit in 2 quick play matches. That means while the playtime XP stays the same, you get double XP for every other applicable XP granting category. Furthermore, you can't get backfill or consecutive match bonuses in competitive, which makes the total net XP gained per time invested much lower than if you're playing quick play. Additionally, queue times for quick play are generally a lot shorter than either competitive or arcade, meaning you'll spend more time playing and more time earning XP. Moving on now to methods for getting loot boxes directly, the only regular way to do this is through playing the arcade. Every week, you can get up to 3 free loot boxes by winning arcade game modes. For every 3 wins, you get 1 box, but can only get 3 boxes total per week. So even if you don't normally enjoy playing the arcade, you might want to spend at least a little time here. I consider these 9 wins the one exception to otherwise strictly playing quick play if you're trying to farm loot boxes. Also, keep in mind that the arcade resets on Monday every week, which is actually really important when it comes to getting event-specific items, but I'll talk more about that in a little bit. The other big thing to discuss when it comes to getting your 9 weekly arcade wins is which game modes you should play. The arcade isn't necessarily the go-to place for every Overwatch player, so here's some advice for those of you looking to grind out those 9 wins as quickly as possible. Honestly, it comes down to how skilled you are as a player. If you're pretty good, then do one of the 1v1 modes, since those go by pretty quickly and you can stack up your needed 9 wins in a pretty short amount of time. However, if you're less confident in your ability to beat someone in a 1v1, then try playing Mystery Heroes. This highly randomized mode will end up giving you a roughly 50-50 chance of winning, which might not sound like good odds, but will overall net you more wins than losing over and over again in a more competitive arcade game mode. Of course, this is all subject to whatever happens to be available in the arcade at the time, but the one mode I wholeheartedly advise against playing is Capture the Flag. At the time of me making this, Capture the Flag by design has a very high draw rate, and in a draw, neither team gets any closer to their next arcade win. For the final part of this video, I'm now going to cover some strategies for getting more event-specific loot boxes and skins as opposed to standard ones. While these methods are fundamentally the same, there are some tricks that can help you to turn what would otherwise be standard loot into limited time event goodies. For starters, so far every Overwatch event has started on a Tuesday, and if you recall what I said earlier, arcade boxes reset on Monday. So for the week that an event starts, play the arcade on Monday only up until you have 2 wins. Then wait until the event starts on Tuesday to get your last 7, and then all 3 arcade boxes will be event ones instead of normals. Furthermore, while events only run for 3 weeks, you can actually utilize this offset to get 4 weeks worth of event loot boxes from the arcade. Just play each week once the event has started, and then on that last Monday after the arcade resets, but before the event ends, cram in all 9 weekly wins to get another 3 event boxes. You'll only have about 24 hours to do this, so not everyone will have the time to pull it off. But if you aren't otherwise busy, this is a great trick to try and squeeze a few more boxes out before it's over. The next tip is one that a lot of people might not like following, but I promise you that it can save you a lot of in-game credits in the long run. And that is to not buy event items until the very end of the event. Only after you've opened your very last loot box for that event should you spend any credits at all. The reason being is that you could, as unlikely as it might seem, unbox everything you want simply by playing the event. Worst case scenario, you wait 3 weeks to spend 3,000 credits on a skin you want. Best case scenario, you save 3,000 credits by waiting maybe even only an hour to get it from a box. Again, a lot of people might not want to do this, especially since people like to have the new skins while actually playing the event. But if you're worried at all about not having enough credits to get everything you want, then just keep this tip in mind. And if you're really bent on saving credits, then you could even wait a year for the event to come back around so that the older event restricted content is cheaper. Even I find this to be a bit excessive, but it is always an option. Additionally, I always recommend saving up your credits between events so that you'll have enough ready to buy limited time items when they are available. Given that standard loot box items can be obtained at any time of the year, even during events, personally I never spend credits on standard items aside from the very rare exception every now and again. It's really just a simple exercise of self-discipline. Even if that one awesome standard skin has been catching your attention for a while, you may want to just bide your time and hope to get it from a loot box box so you can save up for potentially even better skins that might be part of an upcoming event. Honestly, at this point my advice is getting very subjective, and I certainly wouldn't blame you for wanting to splurge on something that you like. However, just keep in mind that if you ever find yourself lacking credits at the end of a limited time event, just go back through all these tips I mentioned and see if there's any that you missed. Maybe you'll just have to pass on that one special event item this time around, but for next time, you'll know how to better your chances. And with that, thank you all so much for watching. If there are ever any changes to the loot box system, or it turns out I forgot a great tip, then I'll put it either in the description or a pinned comment below. It's been quite a while since my last guide video, so I certainly hope you found at least part of this to be useful. If you did, then be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and turn on notifications to both help out my channel and keep up with all my future Overwatch content. This is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.